Hey everybody, how you doing? It is 5 p.m. here in Northern California. What time is that on the East Coast time? I'm 3 hours behind. So it's about what, 8 or 9, some shit like that. Don't know. But listen, so this has been interesting for me. This experience that I'm experiencing right now is very surreal to me because I can relate. I can relate. Now, I hear a lot of people, they're doing a lot of videos exposing Derrick Jaxn. Everyone's doing a Derrick Jaxn exposure video talking about this mess, this shit show that Tasha K is involved in. Now, let me just say this. I found out last night in the middle of my live stream that Derrick Jaxn cheated on his wife. One of my viewers came in and said something in the middle of me talking about something that was a little more important than Derrick Jaxn. And so I was like, when she said it, she was like, Derrick Jaxn cheated on his wife. I'm like, that doesn't shock me at all. All right. Doesn't, not even a little bit. And I brushed it off and I wanted to hear more of the story myself. So I took some time out. I went to Tasha K's channel. I checked out the live stream that she did. I did not support her and put money into her Patreon because honestly, I feel like Tasha K makes more than enough money with the donations that people are putting into her live streams, and they're doing super chats and all types of stuff just to be even messier. Okay, they're encouraging Tasha to be even messier than she's ever been. I've never been a fan of Tasha K, never been a fan of Derrick Jaxn. Now, let me not say never. I'm going to say he kind of changed my mind about who he was personally. All right. Now, Tasha K, of course, been wanting to nail Derrick Jaxn's ass to the wall for a long time now because some girls contacted her a year ago telling her what type of man he was now. Last year wasn't the first time I heard something about Derrick Jaxn that's negative. There are plenty of women out there who have had experiences with Derrick Jaxn and have spoken about it. So after you start seeing like a pattern of more than like 20 or 30 women that he has interacted with that are all saying something identical, at some point it starts to be okay. This has to be a derivative of the truth in some kind of way. All right. So I've heard women say that he was disrespectful. Women have posted screenshots of conversations that they have had with him. Plenty of women have called him a cheater long before now. So it's just like, I'm surprised that so many of his people inside of his audience are so surprised about this shit with him. Now, I'm assuming it's because the female in question produced so many receipts. I mean, it's so many receipts on Tasha K's Patreon about her interacting with Derrick Jaxn. I mean, I think this woman playing this in her mind. She already knew she was going to expose him. She knew she was going to expose him long before now. So the motives behind this woman are questioned. And I questioned her motives last night. If you listen to the live stream when someone came in and said it, I questioned her motives then. But if a person can produce images of themselves in somebody's bedroom, pool, next to the fireplace, screenshots of messages, they collected all of this information, this incriminating evidence, and collected it and even created an Instagram profile filled with all of that information. That means that this person has always had a motive from the very beginning. She was collecting stuff. She knew she was going to expose him long before now. Now, she's basically saying, this is the story of those of you who haven't heard. Basically, this is a woman who says she's known him for 10 years and basically that he was flirting with her back and forth on Twitter for about 10 years. And then they finally linked up last year. They linked up twice. I'm not sure if I have the correct dates, but I think July 4th was one where I'm not sure if he flew her to Atlanta or Miami, but in two different instances, them two linked up and had sex. And once it was in Atlanta and once it was in Miami. And this woman has pictures of her friends with his friends. So this is something that he was very comfortable with. She was someone he was very comfortable with. And men got to be selective. Like, if you're going to be married, right, and sneaking around, you might want to be careful about what kind of women you dealing with, because there are plenty of women out here who would have interacted with him and kept their mouth closed. Plenty of women. I mean, hundreds of women would have never posted a picture, never took a picture, took a picture in general. I mean, it says a lot that this woman has pictures of herself in him and his wife's bed. She has pictures of herself at the pool. I mean, she giving details about the inside of this man's private home, which is something he never posts. And somehow this woman has all of this, right? It just seems suspect to me. So anyway, he flew her out to Miami, put her up in Airbnbs, had sex there. He gave her money whenever she needed. He basically took decent care of her. He had respect for her to some degree because, he didn't have to do any of that, because there's men out there who wouldn't have done any of that. But like I tell women all the time, when you're looking at men that you classify as high value men, or men who have money, or men who have celebrity, they can toss out money to you like it's nothing. They can take you on a trip with so much ease and then turn around and block you later on. Because him and this woman were talking about the experience that they were having. And he was explaining to her what was really going on with him and his wife. And he was giving her details about his emotions and his thoughts. He was extremely honest, it sounds like to me. He told her he was separated, and I guess like a few days later, he posted a picture of his wife on his Instagram. Now, that's unusual for Derrick Jaxn. And this is August 1st, 2020. This is unusual for Derrick Jaxn because he rarely posts anything as far as his private life goes. I remember a long time ago when his child was first born, he posted one picture. And after him posting that one picture, women was upset with him because they was like, wait a minute, he has a baby? He's a hypocrite. He's blah, blah, blah. This is why this man doesn't post his personal life. Because when he posted a child, it affected a lot of women. Because a lot of women were following behind him because they felt like in some type of way they would have some type of chance with him. He was more appealing as a single man than a man who has a baby or is married, back then at least. Now, to me, if you want to listen to somebody as far as relationship advice goes, it doesn't matter a person's relationship status. And let me explain to you why. Because whether we've had failed relationships or healthy relationships, that's neither here nor there. The advice is still the same. Whether we can follow the advice or not, it's still the same. So I think a lot of people feel like, as relationship experts and counselors and stuff, it's easy for us to follow this stuff. No, we human too. We can tell you what's really good and tell you how to do shit. And when it comes time for us to do that for ourselves, our emotions are intact. Remember, our emotions is taking over. Sometimes the logical thing to do, we can't do too. So we human too. It's just we know a lot more about relationships, psychology, sociology. These are all things that we may have studied in high school or we may be certified for, but we're still human. We still have personal relationships as well. I mean, somebody like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, what? He been married 2 or 3 times. People still listen to his advice, whether it's about relationships or not. People out there like Will Smith, people listen to Will Smith when it comes to finances and success, but he filed for bankruptcy. You understand? So it's not that you have to be perfect in order to give advice. You just have to have experience. Whether it's a good experience or a bad experience is neither here nor there. It's just the experience. We can tell you what happened. We can tell you what we didn't do, what we did do. So when people are looking at Derrick Jaxn as like the perfect man, it's strange to me. So anyway, back to him and this side chick. So she knew he was separated. Like I said, I can relate to this story. I can relate to this story, and I'm gonna talk about later on how this is relatable to me. Fucking side chick has all these receipts and shit she given to Tasha K. Now, honestly, if she wanted to be taken seriously as a woman, she probably would have picked a better platform to expose this man on. I know people are like, what better platform than Tasha K's? Nah, it's more respectable platform she could have went on and had a decent, like conversation about this specific thing. But to me, the fact that she chose Tasha to do it says a lot about this woman's character. Now, I'm not here to drag on the side chick. I'm gonna talk about that later. I'm not about to drag on her, okay? Because like I said, I get where women are in their stages of life. So anyway, she decided to expose this man about something. Now think about this. It's March. It's March, y'all. Her and Derrick Jaxn had their situation August of last year. So my first response was like, why is this woman exposing him right now? What made her wait? What triggered her right now that made her want to do this? So I looked on his Instagram account and I noticed that maybe a few days ago or like last week, he posted a cover to his new book called Healing Together. This is a new book. This book he had to have released like last week or like, a couple of days ago. And it has a picture of him and his wife on it. So I think this is what triggered the woman. And she's trying to dress it up as if, oh, she's trying to save other women. No, I think she felt some type of way about the fact that he's still posting his wife because that's something he rarely does. He's posted his wife again, their wedding picture. So the wedding picture is on the cover of the book and it's called Healing Together. Now, when I seen the cover of the book and it was called Healing Together, I was like, oh, his wife know. His wife already know he was with this woman. His wife knows. Now, the stuff that Derrick Jaxn was telling this girl, he was telling the girl that his wife hurt him. And other people know that Derrick has cheated on this woman or there have been claims that he has cheated on his wife before. So they've been doing stuff to each other, supposedly. And for the book to be called Healing Together, apparently they have been hurting each other. And they're finding a way to heal their relationship. I figured this out yesterday. So earlier today, I posted on my Instagram account about the book. I talked about the book. And then, lo and behold, Derrick Jaxn posts the premiere. And lo and behold, what's the cover of the premiere on YouTube? The YouTube premiere. Cover of the book. His wife knows. She knew before all of us. I think, personally, this is my thought process. When Derrick Jaxn was dealing with this chick on the side, and I don't know her name. I wish I could call her by her name. But when he was dealing with her, and after he had the conversation with her about where he stood with his wife, and he was telling her that he wasn't emotionally connected to his wife anymore, I think having that conversation made him really think about what he was doing. Because maybe a couple of days after that, he blocked the girl and the girl's friends. Now, I wish he would have handled it better because he had been talking to her on social media for 10 years. So I wish he would have instead of just instantly blocking her, he should have told her that's what he was going to do and that he was going to repair his marriage with his wife. Because the last conversation that this side chick had with him was, I'm leaving my wife. I'm not getting back with her because I'm not emotionally tied to her anymore. But after that conversation, literally days later, he blocked the side chick and the side chick's friends. So I'm thinking his wife found out right then, because then he posted a picture of her, which was the first picture he has ever posted of his wife ever, right? So I think that's when his wife found out, and they've been trying to repair their situation ever since. And along the way, Derrick has been writing a book to talk about the healing and the repair. Okay, so now to me, the side chick, the chick on the side, must have saw Derrick promoting the book, and then was like, "Oh, I'm going to expose him because he's not the devoted married man that everybody wants to classify him as." Okay. So I think she had a level of jealousy that he shuffled the cards and he missed her card and decided to go back to what he loved and what he knows. Now, Men can do that. Women can do that. People have done it. It happens. People thought that that's what was happening in my situation. I even thought that that was happening in my situation with my son's father, because him and his estranged wife was supposedly divorced for 2 years before he and I got together. And when I met him, his estranged wife was dating somebody else. She was somebody else's side chick. So I was like, oh, they must really be over. You know what I'm saying? Now, had I not talked to her myself, had I not talked to my son's father's ex-wife myself, I wouldn't have believed shit he was saying. Because he kept saying, she knows you and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I was like, does she really? Like, say word, son. But with this lady, it's like, with Derrick, I don't think, as a woman, she should have felt comfortable with dating him while he was separated because of who he is. And like I tell people all of the time, when you meet a man who's separated, he's so convincing too. He's like he's like, oh no, I don't want to fuck with her. I ain't been with her in such and such time. I need for women to stop believing that. Stop believing that. There is a difference between separation and divorce, of course. There are some people out there who are separated who will never be together. My son's father is legally divorced from his ex-wife. People don't usually get back together if they're like really separated and been that way for a long time and actually started dating other people. So when Derrick decided to be with this woman, it made me think, well, I wonder, is his wife doing this as well? If he's really separated, I wonder if she's dating other people as well. Because once both of them start dating other people, it's kind of hard to save that type of situation. Maybe if one of them is out with someone and the other isn't, because someone is still fighting for the situation, then maybe it won't fall apart. But if both of them have just decided to leave the relationship altogether, it's unusual if they end up staying together after that, or they ended up after the separation getting back together and then having a healthy, successful marriage or relationship. So anyway, I encourage women to just don't marry. I mean, don't marry. Sorry. Well, yeah, don't marry, but that's a whole nother video. Don't date separated people. Don't do it. If somebody tell you they're still married, run. If they tell you that they're going through a divorce, run. I used to never date divorced men. I hated dating divorced men because I always felt like a divorced man is always going to be the man that belongs to somebody else or another woman. His heart is always going to belong to another woman. It's always going to belong to the first person he got married to. That's how valuable I thought marriage was. And I gave my son's father the benefit of the doubt because I genuinely thought he was a good person. And a lot of times we as women, we tend to ignore the flags when it comes to these men because we like them so much. We want them to be, perfect for us. And most of the time they're lying. Married men lie more than any kind of man on this planet. I promise you. Married men have thought up every single lie. They know what to say. They have rehearsed the moment when it's time for them to lie about another woman. Do not trust shit married men say, even if you're married to him. Okay? Like if your husband is an honest, truthful, good dude, honey, that's like 1 in 1,000, 100,000. You feel me? So anyway, my history with Derrick Jaxn. I have a lot of videos on my channel about Derrick Jaxn. I think it's about 5 videos about Derrick Jaxn on my channel. And the first time I interacted with Derrick Jaxn, it had to been 2016, right? Yeah, 2016. I was still living in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And I had been reaching out to Derrick Jaxn on his Instagram professionally because I wanted to collab with him. Now, I told the story last night, but I'm going to tell it again. Okay, because now everybody that's, part of the Derrick Jaxn, whatever, is listening. So I wanted to collab with a lot of men on YouTube. And Derrick was kind of new to YouTube around that time. He had just started making videos like consistently. And so I kept reaching out to him and he wasn't answering. And I'm assuming it's because I was contacting him through Instagram. Because Instagram, from what I understand, isn't one of the places that he answers his messages. All right. So I was hitting him up on Instagram over and over saying, hey, I want to collab with you. I want to do a video with you. I want us to, make a video about relationships. Whoop-de-doo. Right. and he was ignoring it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take a clip of his and just do a video and talk about, what I think about what he's saying. So I did that, and that's what caught his attention. And so when he posted a video after that, I came into his comment section on his channel and said something to him, and he answered the comment. And that's how he and I started interacting. All right. So I still came to him on the same tip, a professional one. I come to everybody on a professional tip because I'm about my career, my business. I came out to him and I said, and even though he's attractive, because he was fine as hell back then. Like right now, when I see Derrick Jaxn, I don't see the same guy I used to see. I don't know if it has something to do with age or what, but he just is not. He's not as attractive as he used to be to me. All right, so um, of course I was attracted to him physically, just naturally, and of course it was because when you've been celibate, I was celibate for so many years before I even reached out to him. So I was kind of sexually attracted to a lot of men. And that's the one thing that people don't teach you about celibacy is that when you haven't had sex in like years, like everybody started looking good. You're like, I do something with that. Just see a homeless person on the street. You're like, he a little sexy. I wonder what I can do with that. Shit like that. But he was really good looking to me. And so I was kind of nervous about talking to him because of course I seen him on CNN. He was just so popular. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, this would be good for me if I could get this right. This could be beneficial for both of us if I can, do this right. So we talked about doing a video chat. So we ended up doing a video chat. And I never forget this video chat because it was the same day my car got repossessed. My car got repossessed. Oh, Lord. That's a whole nother, I was struggling. I never forget this. I was struggling because I was trying to make, YouTube work and finally do it for real. So I wasn't working. I didn't have a regular job anymore. And so I couldn't afford my car payment. So I'm living in this big ass 5-bedroom house and I got a car. And right before I did the interview with him, I was laying asleep on the couch. And my daughter was like, "Ma, they outside taking the car." I was like, "No!" So he took my car, and then I should have rescheduled the video chat with Derrick Jaxn, but I did. So anyway, I get on the video chat with Derrick, and I flat out tell him like, "Yo, I can't believe my car just got repossessed." Like, oh, that's a whole nother thing. So anyway, I started talking to him. Now, mind you, the day before, I had done a lot of research on him. Like I said, I seen a clip that he did on CNN. I saw a lot of stuff. I just did my research. I like to research people before I interact with them because I learned a valuable lesson about not doing that. So I was like, I got to get to know this guy so I can, build something. And so that next day when I did the video chat with him, I'm talking to him and I said, did you look and see, do any research about me? He said, no. He said, but I saw those sexy ass pictures though. I was like, so that's the only reason why you're talking to me. You don't know who I am. Like you don't know what I do. Like you just saw my half naked lingerie pictures of me modeling and that's the reason why you're on this video chat with me. And he was like basically, yeah. And I was like that's so intellectually lazy to me. He got mad at me and hung up the video chat. And I was like that's all it took, huh? Because you hit me up on some personal shit, and I'm talking to you about some professional shit. Ever since then, I have looked at this man sideways. Ever since then, and I seen him in a different light. So when I saw him posting more videos on YouTube, I didn't see him with hate. I saw him with clarity now, and it was just like, okay, so I'm looking because he was only interested in me romantically, which was odd. It just struck me as odd. It's like, wow, he wasn't even thinking about business. When I came to him and I said that was my motive, I told him that was my motive, and he wasn't thinking in that way. So it made me look at what he was doing differently. I started looking at the videos more because I was looking at him Not a lot before I talked to him, but then after that, I started looking at him more and started trying to figure out, is he giving good advice? Now, remember, I give advice, relationship advice. A lot of people do, but not a lot of people are doing it professionally and are growing as fast as Derrick Jaxn did. So I wanted to know, what was he doing that made him so appealing, that made women cling on to him so quickly? And at the end of the day, it boiled down to how he looked, how he packaged what he was doing, how he pandered to hurt broken women. And so then I began giving my opinion about him. I started making videos like, okay, Derrick Jaxn is one of those people that you can't necessarily take literally. You can listen to what he's saying, but a lot of what he's saying is cookie cut. It's specific. It's meant to do, it's meant to serve a purpose, which is to uplift and encourage a woman to be better. He's very articulate, he's very well spoken. It's just attractive. So I see how this is working, but I don't trust his ass. And I kept saying this. I made video after video after video. And then finally, I made my last video about him. It was called The Dark Side of Derrick Jaxn. And inside of it, I spoke about how helpful a lot of his content is. And even though I don't like him on a personal level, and I don't think that his advice applies to me, there are certain women out there that this stuff is helpful. It's helping them. And so I got to give him a hand clap and applause for that, because it is improving the lives of a lot of women. And because YouTube is one of those places where Black women are being drugged, and Derrick Jaxn was the only one that was giving us some positivity and encouraging us to be better and encouraging us to, understand that we are valuable. I had to give him an applause for that. I may not like him personally, I may not be fond of him, but I'm going to give him an applause for that. But taking his relationship advice literally, that's not going to be, I can't do that, because not everybody's situation is as cookie cut, and it just seems too polished to me. Something seems off about it. It seems orchestrated. It doesn't seem genuine. That was my message to the ladies. And everybody was like, oh, Soncerae's a fucking hater. Soncerae's just mad because Derrick Jaxn turned her down. All types of shit, all types of rumors, all types of stuff. So I wrote a blog about it, and I was very honest. And it was kind of like a little weird blog too. I wrote about how, because I cared so much about my career, that I literally had to calm myself down on a romantic level dealing with him, because I didn't want to mess up my career and my, what I was trying to do with my life over a sexual attraction to a man. And that's basically what the blog was about. It was about me saying I just wanted him to see me for who I am and accept me, not this sexual version of what he thought I was, or, anything romantic on that level. I wanted him to accept me professionally. And I wrote that in the blog, and that's still one of my most popular blogs on my Read My Mind blog over there. But I've said it. I told women, maybe you shouldn't be trusting Derrick Jaxn. Like, him, not him. I did a poll the other day on my, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I did a poll on my Instagram story, and I asked people who give better relationship advice to women, Kevin Samuels or Derrick Jaxn. Guess who everybody picked? Trying to guess who everybody picked. It was a 50-50. It was a 50-50. I was like, wow. Interesting. So, yeah. First of all, what's up? You said, back when I was growing up, I was taught not to kiss and tell. I was also taught not to cheat. When these two worlds collide, fireworks. Chrissy, I know. I said they knew each other for 10 years. Him and the side chick knew each other for 10 years. He tried her 4 years ago. I didn't know he tried her 4 years ago. All I know about is what happened August. I do know that he had been trying to holler at her supposedly the whole time. But for you to say specifically 4 years ago he tried her, I didn't know nothing about that. Nightwell, he should have hired an escort. What? That might be more dangerous. Derrick Jaxn should use this opportunity to blow up bigger than ever incorporate some of his personal ish into his advice commentary. Well, that's what I said yesterday. So I said when me and my friends were sitting down and we were talking about how he should respond. I said one of the smartest things that he could do right now is promote his latest book. Because number one is they got him and his wife on the front. That's number one. Number two, he could get more book sales because of this. It's not going to harm his career like people think. Yeah, some people are going to look at him sideways, call him a fraud, call him a fake, stop listening to him. But then it's going to create more people. More people are going to come into and take those people's place. And if he really wants to win from this, him and his wife should come together and do one video and never talk about this shit again. And address it together as one unit and never talk about it again. But promote that damn book and never talk about it again. Because I honestly think that he talks about it in the book. That's what I think. And I didn't even buy the book yet. I might just buy it on the strength. I bought his single mother book. And I just bought that book a month ago. Because I don't usually support Derrick Jaxn. Nothing. Not a t-shirt, not a book, not a nothing. But because I started doing content for single mothers, I decided to buy his book to see what his thought process was and how he could help me be a little bit more articulate as far as what I want to convey when I'm talking to other people about single mothers. All right. So I bought his book for that reason. Yes, you got to treat your side women with respect too. I agree. A lot of men feel like they should treat side chicks disrespectfully. That's just stupid. Like if what's the point in you having sex with a woman that you can't even respect? That means you disrespecting yourself. So if you're not treating her well, then it's no point. You know what I mean? It's no point. I was a side chick many years ago, maybe like I don't know, got to be 11 years to 2010. Yeah, 11 years. When he talks about me, he tries to make it seem like he treated me bad, but he was really good to me. Like he didn't disrespect me. I think we might have had a handful of arguments once it started being like to the end of our situation. But then later on, maybe like a year later, he came back and apologized. He was very like manly about it, and I appreciated that about him. But when we was like kicking it, he was never disrespectful to me. He always, he took me out. He gave me gifts. I wasn't, like somebody he disrespected. But a lot of men try to make it seem like they do. Um, but it is really a problem if Derrick and his wife are separated. I mean, but you never know the dynamic. You never know the dynamic of their situation, honey. You never know what's going on with their friendship. You never know if them two were separated and she told him it was okay to do it. You never know. People got to stop messing up the high value term. Money is just one part of an entire criteria. Just because a man is a high earner doesn't mean he's a high value man. Exactly. That's what I keep trying to say. Like I made a TikTok recently where I was talking about how Kevin Samuels got a lot of men confused. And let me explain to you why I think he has these men confused. The reason why these men are confused is because they don't understand. They feel like because they have money, they should be able to get any type of woman. But nah, you could still be a dusty and have money because your character is fucked up. So I said, well, if you're a dusty, you still have to improve who you are as a man. Having money doesn't make you a better man. What makes you a better man is a whole bunch of other stuff that goes along with it that you are not. So you are in no position to judge anyone. The only option that you have as a dusty or a beta is to improve who you are as a man. Then you can go out and make all of these choices and have all of these options that Kevin Samuels claims that you have. All right. Derrick is smart to not post his personal info because it's none of anyone's business. Thank you, first of all. Definitely not anybody's business, but everybody wants to know it. He kept it off social media. I learned from those who have failed as well as those who have succeeded. In fact, many who have failed first succeeded, right? And many who have succeeded failed along the way. Success and failure go together. You don't have one without the other. Sorry to inform everybody, but success and failure go hand in hand. Sometimes you're going to make it, sometimes you're not. Sometimes, let go to get one. Win some to lose some. That's how the situation goes. It goes up and down and up and down and up and down. Okay? Derrick Jaxn should do a sit-down convo with John Gray. You know what? That's good because John Gray, he was getting on John Gray case for cheating. Yeah. Chrissy Fantasy, let me tell you why I feel the way that I feel about Tasha K. You know how you can tell how some people just will do anything, even step on somebody, lie about somebody, sensationalize. I've seen her do that too many times. After you've seen somebody do that too many times, then you look at them different. Like maybe she's improved with time. Like now the only time she speaks about something is if she has solid proof. But before, that's not how she was. She was just creating all types of videos and saying all types of things about people without getting the truth of the situation. She just seems like a vulture to me. Like she's scavenging the earth for some shit to expose, I guess, to make her feel better about herself. That's how I was feeling when I first heard about her. And plus, I was a Lovely T fan at the time, and I seen how the negative, um, the negative flaws that T had, Tasha K kind of brought out of T. Like T is a good person, but just like everybody else, we all have negative traits as well. And sometimes when we're dealing with certain people or certain things, it can bring out more of those negative traits. And I feel like Tasha K brought out more negativity in Lovely T than anything. Okay. Um, international you can't like hate a strong word. Yeah, Alicia, Derrick Jaxn used to be attractive. I think he's starting to look different to me with age. Or maybe like he's not working out as much, or there's something going on with him that's making him look different. Because when I see him in videos now, he doesn't look as clean cut and sharp to me. There's something, maybe he is ill, or maybe he has some type of something's going on with him that makes him not look it's not age, because usually when men, like say for instance Morris Chestnut was fine when he was young, fine when he old, so it you know what I mean. But when he was in that one movie with Taraji, and that one, what was it, the movie he was in with Taraji where he used to date her and now he was successful, he looked bad in that movie. He looked overweight and ill in that movie, Morris Chestnut. And but then you see him in other stuff, and he's working out and he's doing what he does. You know what I mean? I feel like for a long time he took a break from doing what he was supposed to do, and it affected his health. And then he started working out again, and now he's back to the way he used to look. But in that movie with Taraji, where she was dating like um, Michael Ealy, what movie was that? Is that I don't know what movie that is. I don't even know. I think Kevin Hart is in the movie. Anyway, I just feel like Derrick Jaxn doesn't look the way that he used to. Derrick does look better than Kevin Samuels. Jeanette, that is an actual fact. I don't think Kevin Samuels is attractive at all. What makes Kevin Samuels a little bit more appealing to women is his image and how he dresses himself. If he was to strip himself of that suit, he would look bad. Derrick Jaxn, on the other hand, I feel like if Derrick Jaxn was standing in front of me and he took off his clothes, and Kevin Samuels was standing next to me and he took off his clothes, and I could choose between one or the other, I would still choose Derrick. Even though Derrick is not as appealing as he used to look to me, he still looks better than Kevin. Kevin is not attractive to me. I don't know what woman would look at him and be like, "Oh, he's so sexy." Nah, and his personality isn't sexy either. It doesn't do it for me. It may do it for other women, but I don't know. He just comes off as rude, and I don't know. I just can't imagine myself letting somebody like him get close to me in a romantic or sexual manner. He just doesn't do it for me. Alicia, from what I understand, he has a decent package. Derrick has a decent package, and he's good at bed. And that's what the side chick was saying. She was saying that that's what he was good at bed, and he give good oral sex. That's too much. Like I think he gave this woman too much. He gave her access to his home, had sex with her in his wife's bed, gave her oral sex, allowed her access to his friends, allowed her access to his money. He did too much for this woman. He did too much for this woman, like they was already together. I feel like he should have just held off on a lot of stuff. He was giving her too much information. He was being too intimate with her, not just sexually, but as far as his emotions go, everything. He just invested too much of his energy into this woman. Even though he's known her, he still know her from social media. She still is like someone that's distant from him. I don't know why he trusted her so much. I think it's think like a man. I think it's think like a man. I don't know. I can't remember. It comes down to it looks to determine the respect some men get. And it determines how long you respect a man or his word. Nah, because I mean, like I said before, I used to think Derrick Jaxn was extremely attractive, right? But I still didn't trust what he was saying. He looked like a player to me. And if anybody who's been part of Team Jaxn from the beginning, you've heard Derrick say he used to be a player. He gonna put all of the women up on the stuff that he used to do. He said it. And I personally think when a man is a player, it has a lot to do with his character. At any given moment, he could turn around and go back to playing, because that's who he was. So some men outgrow being a player. Some men outgrow beta shit. But sometimes when it's part of their moral character, sometimes when that's their core, it's just a part of them. That's just who they are. That's what I feel as far as like poly. You know how I think it's weird how people turn their nose up at polyamory, but then turn around and get in a monogamous relationship and then cheat. When really poly is just you saying, I want to have multiple partners. I want to be able to do that open and honestly without hurting someone. People give that the side eye. People give honesty the side eye. I never understand that. It's backwards. Some people are just the type of person that wants to be around multiple people or they need something. And sometimes men cheat because they're not getting something at home. Like I've said before, shit, if Adam was giving Eve the attention that she was supposed to get, she wouldn't have been fucking with a snake. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times these relationships, people aren't getting what they want. I'm not justifying a man being a shit stain or no man or no woman at all for doing anything to hurt somebody negatively. But a lot of times people allow stuff like that, them not getting what they want out of a relationship, to be the reason why they go looking for it somewhere else. Okay. He has given videos about cheating. The other woman outed him with videos of her in his bed. Ladies, it doesn't matter if they were separated. That's wrong. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Listen, I think both of them wrong. And let me explain again why I think both of their ass wrong. Number one, Derrick, he separated. The last thing he should have did was bring this woman into his home. Just like he had money to get an Airbnb when they were in Miami. When it was time for her to visit the city that he lived in with his wife, the last thing he should have done is invite this woman into his home that he shared with his wife, whether they were separated or not. Because that's her home. The side chick was saying that she saw all of her personal belongings still there, but she saw a lot of boxes as if his wife possibly was moving out. Now you never know. Derrick could have put those boxes up himself as a way to trick this bitch. You never know. But to me, that was when he told her he was separated right then, when she said okay and decided to participate anyway, she put herself in harm's way of being hurt at some point. Okay? Because I know I gave my son's father the side eye when he said he was separated. I walked out the damn day. I had no intention of ever seeing his ass again. I was like, nigga, what? I was almost done with this dude. And I wish I would have just been done with him. But after that, he came back and talked to me and was like, oh, my wife, she knows who you are and it's okay and it's blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I ended up talking to her and she's like, oh, we're just dating. I'm dating other people. We're no longer together. I've moved on with my life, which is bullshit. And it was bullshit coming from both of them. Both of them. So don't think that the wife, you mean her, is going to be any confirmation either. So if a man tell you he's separating and he leaving a woman, and then you talk to the wife and she's like, oh yeah, our relationship is over. Don't trust either one of them. Do not trust any of them until they divorce. A lot of people said that to me. Soncerae, how did you trust him being as though he was separated? Because I thought when people were actually separated and they didn't want to be together anymore, they done. Whether they married or not, they done. Because I know for me, when I say I'm done with somebody, that's it. I don't circle back. I learned too many lessons a long time ago that circling back is the worst thing that you can do. Worst thing. So I'm thinking he telling me that they done and they gonna be done. No woman, don't believe him. Listen, don't date nobody that's separated. Don't date nobody that's married. Don't date nobody that just got divorced. Don't date nobody that just got out of a relationship. Avoid all that shit altogether. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. Anyway, she is also in the wrong for taking photos inside of this man's house and accumulating a shit ton of them. Not just one, not two, but a whole bunch of boomerangs and videos and shit. All this damn proof and receipts. She was a groupie. Because only a groupie would spend so much time inside of this man's home and take pictures of everything. She had every intention on exposing this nigga if he ended up back with this woman. She had that already planned in her mind. It was just a matter of time. She needed something to trigger her. And I think the book he just released was the trigger. I do. So I don't feel sorry for this chick. And I don't think she's sad about it. I think she's a little jealous. I don't think she like in her feelings and shit. I think she's just jealous because he decided to stick with his wife. I think she feels some type of way about it. And there's nothing wrong with her feeling some type of way about it. That's human. That's human. She slept with him twice. He gave her money. They've been friends for a long time. He been trying to holler at her for a long time. So she probably really thought she had a chance to be taken seriously by this man. She must have really thought that. So I'm not saying that she a victim and I'm not saying he a victim. I'm saying it's both of them. It's both of them. So for her to go into Tasha K's platform as if she's trying to expose him because she wants to save other women is bullshit to me. She's exposing him because she feels butt hurt. She feels jealous. Let me just scratch butt hurt. She feels jealous because she sees him continuously posting his wife, which was something he didn't do before he started fucking with her. Because when he was fucking with her, no one knew who Derrick Jaxn's wife was other than their personal family and friends. The internet had never seen him. Internet had never met her. The internet maybe saw his baby when his baby was a newborn, and that's all we got to see. That's all we got to see. And then suddenly he cheats on his wife with this woman while he was separated, supposedly. And now suddenly, it's pictures of his wife on the internet, something he's never done. So I think this is hitting her different because of that. Okay. Hey Catherine, what's up? I'll be seeing you in my stories on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be seeing you. Pro woman, this is the last straw. Take advice from happy, healthy couples. Devon Franklin and Dondra Whitfield wasn't a fan of Derrick, but still disappointed as fuck. Listen, let me explain something to you. Even healthy couples got shit. You don't think Devin Franklin and Megan Good are having issues right now? Trust me, they are. First of all, they've been married for a while and still ain't got no kids. I'm pretty sure that's affecting their marriage. Also, Devon Franklin is a man of faith. He's a man of God. A lot of times when he's dealing with religious people, they have an issue with Megan. So that's probably affecting his relationship as well. So you never know what's going on with these people. Just because it looks like it's godly doesn't mean that it is. We was just talking about John Gray. Listen, when people are ministers, preachers, pastors, counselors, relationship experts, yeah, it's our job. Yeah, it's what we're good at. Yeah, it's the gift that God gave us, but it's very separate from our personal lives. And people try to apply what we do for a living or what we do that is our talent. They try to apply that shit to our personal lives. No, that's not how it works because we're in a different zone. It's almost like, okay, how can I explain this? I give advice to hundreds and thousands of people. All right. All day, every day. That's all I do because people are always coming to me and say, Soncerae, can you help me with this? Soncerae, can you do this? Soncerae, can you blah, 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 blah. Tell me how to do this. Da, da, da. All day long. And it's been like that for years. So anybody who's dealing with me, they have to understand. Sometimes I feel like I got the weight of the world on my shoulders because I have to help everybody else. But then I got to figure out who's helping me, right? Outside of God. So I got to take everything that I'm dealing with in my own life that don't got nothing to do with everybody else. And I got to deal with that with God. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm the only person that's there for me. So when you got people like Derrick Jaxn, Devon Franklin, damn, Steven Speaks, who else? Tony Gaskins, all of these people out here that's giving relationship advice, whether they're male or female. We have personal lives, and sometimes we don't have anybody that we can go to outside of a mentor we might have that we can go to and help us with our shit, because we don't really have time to help with our shit. All we got time for is y'all. And it's more y'all than us. So in order for us to keep our mental health and do what we supposed to do, sometimes we got to withdraw. Sometimes we all got different types of methods that we use in order to keep ourselves in a mental place, a healthy mental place, mentally, emotionally, or whatever, spiritually, or whatever. But you have to understand, sometimes we get stuck as well dealing with our own shit, because our emotions get involved with the logic that we tell y'all to apply to y'all life. Just keep that in mind. We're not perfect. Just because we give relationship advice don't mean we're perfect. It just means we might know a little more than you do, but it doesn't mean it's any easier for us to apply it to our lives when our feelings are involved. Chef Chevy, some females are fast and want sex too. That is so true. I'm not saying that's not true. Separated is not divorce. I learned that lesson the hard way. Everybody know I learned the lesson the hard way with my son's father. I tried to give these separated men the benefit of the doubt. Do not give these men the benefit of the doubt. They need to be divorced. Okay? And divorced for a long time before you try to commit to them. Because even once they divorce, it's still some residue lingering on from that relationship. And don't you forget it. Don't forget it. She was a jumping pump and got mad. Exactly. She got mad. Here's my thing. I think she was thinking she was going to be promoted to something else. She thought she had a chance. No, 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 no. He loves his wife, right? He loves his wife, okay? He didn't get in a relationship with this woman. That was the biggest mistake right there. She should have got in a relationship with him first instead of being so anxious to sleep with him first. You have to get in the relationship first. Even if it's a separated person, what is just a single person? Let's just say Derrick Jaxn was single. She still moved too swiftly with him. Just because you've been talking to somebody on the internet for 10 years don't mean you know them personally in real life. You have to take that time out there to learn somebody in all seasons. So when they frustrated, you know how they act. When they mad, you know how they act. When they happy, you know how they act. Okay? She didn't know all that about him. But she anxiously slept with him because he was giving her money, because he was talking about flying her out, because he know how to rent a damn Airbnb. What did Derrick Jaxn do for this woman that was so magical that made her think it was okay for her to continuously have sex with him? Or even have sex with him only twice? What did he do that was so amazing? Absolutely fucking nothing. Did he commit to her? No. Did he ask her to marry him? No. Was he consistent in his behavior? Was he always around her? Was he taking her out more than once? No. He did nothing. Nothing that said that she should sleep with him. She just did it because he was Derrick Jaxn. And now that she's realizing, oh, maybe she kind of handled that wrong. Had she held off, this probably wouldn't even be a conversation we're having. If she would have just held off. If he invited her to fly out, she kept saying no, because I'm pretty sure she was saying no to other times because he had been trying to get at her and she was saying no. Had she kept saying no, we wouldn't be sitting here having this live stream. He didn't do anything magical other than be Derrick Jaxn that made her comfortable enough should have made her comfortable enough to sleep with him. Okay? I would give Derrick Jaxn some play. I heard he's great in bed. I don't know why. Why would you give Derrick Jaxn some play? Even I said no to Derrick Jaxn. Why would you give Derrick Jaxn play? For what? What magical thing is he doing other than looking good and being Derrick Jaxn? What is he doing inside of the relationship, or how is he interacting with you? Women have got to stop investing all of their love and energy into a man who has done nothing but stand there and look good. What is he doing other than standing there looking good? I don't care if he paid for a flight. Oh, one flight out of the 365 days of a year, you flew me out once. Now I'm supposed to give you my pussy? No! Y'all have to think about this stuff. I don't care how much money a man gives you. Giving you money is the least that men can do. Men have been paying for pussy. Prostitution is the oldest form and source of income for women. All right? A man giving you his money is the least that he can give you. What you need to be trying to get from these men is their love and their goddamn respect. And just because he gives you his money doesn't mean he loves and respects you. It doesn't. He might give you general respect because you're a human being and that's common courtesy. But to the point where he respects you so much to where he's not even cheating on you, shit, his wife don't even have his own respect. Who would make you think that he respects you? He flat out disrespected the hell out of his wife. Brought a chick in their house. Not just in their house, in their bed. That's so goddamn disrespectful. Oh my God. he ain't even giving his own wife respect. Don't give Derrick Jaxn no pussy, man. Please. No. He gets no play. A man gets play when he is consistent for an extended amount of time, when he continuously keeps doing stuff over and over and over again that's positive. He didn't fly you out once. He flew you out 20 times. He fly you out every weekend or twice a month. He didn't give you money once. He gave you money every Friday for the past year. That's who deserves some pussy. Okay? Not some guy who did some shit this one time. Oh, we went out to eat once. Once? Please. Did y'all go out to eat twice a week for a year? No. Start requiring more from these men. Oh my God. Lord. I got vibes from Megan that she will want kids. Yeah, I think she will want kids. Megan Good, I think she will want kids, and the fact that her and Devon Franklin don't have them yet, I don't know. I'm not in a business. I try not to judge people's business, where they are in their relationship. I don't like gossiping about people. I really don't. And the fact that I'm having this conversation is surprising me because I really do not like talking about other people's business because I don't know. You understand? Like, it's so much stuff that I don't know about Derrick and his wife and their dynamic, and Derrick and this side chick and their dynamic. It's just, I don't know. Regardless to how much proof and receipts are out there, none of us truly know exactly what happened. Even when Derrick tells the story behind this shit, if he does, tells the story behind all of this stuff, we never truly gonna know how this went down. Kevin Samuels is a senior citizen. I know it's right. He can't keep up. So should give relationship advice. So who could give relationship advice? When people don't show their lives as an example, that's a red flag to me. Okay. The people that should give relationship advice, they're giving it to other people. All right. Take advice from someone who consistently gives you good advice. If you can apply, listen, if I gave you 20 tips on how to live, and 15 of them bitches work, you need to be listening to me for relationship advice. Don't worry about what I'm doing in my personal life. Don't worry about whether I applied those tips to my life or not. That shit's neither here nor there. Nobody cares. If I gave you 20 tips and 15 of them bitches work, do it. Listen to the person that gives you good advice. It's as simple as that. Stop comparing your life to theirs. Stop comparing whether they applied those tips to their life or not. That shit don't even matter. A lot of people be like, well, don't listen to somebody that doesn't have a healthy relationship or has never had a healthy marriage, or blah, blah, blah. That's stupid. That would be like not listening to a spectator or any of the commentators who are telling you something about sports. Most of the people that talk to you, the newscasters, the sportscasters, they ain't never played basketball or football a day in their goddamn life, but they can sit there and tell you about the shit. Some people have studied it so much their entire life that they can tell you stuff. I've been studying relationships, ministering, counseling, psychology, sociology from the time I was 15. I'm 40 now. Do you know how much information I know about sociology and psychology and interpersonal relationships and communication and sex and all of that stuff because of all of the stuff I've learned? It's all about what we've learned, what we've been taught, what our talent is. It has nothing to do with how we deal with the stuff that we're dealing with, because we have to deal with what we're dealing with differently from how you guys do. It's two different types of people. When God has given us the gifts to lead, anybody who's in a leadership role will tell you our lives are very different than the people that are being led, especially when we're leading hundreds of thousands of people. It's different. I can't explain it to you. I don't even know how to. I can't begin to explain it. I'm gonna find a way to explain this shit, and I'm gonna talk about it in another video. But right now, I cannot explain how significantly different it is to be the person that gives advice to hundreds of people versus one person who is just in a relationship with another person and wants to be able to figure out how to deal with that one person, and that's it. I literally have to split my energy to through hundreds of thousands of people a day. You only got to split your energy with one person, and that's the person you're in a relationship with. Me, I literally have to sit down and be the empath that I am and care about other people and their lives, because that's my destiny. That's my purpose. That's what I was brought here to do. And anybody who's brought here to do that knows what I'm talking about. They know. They know what I mean. Because it's kind of like some of us didn't ask to be what we are. Like, I'm not the oracle because I raised my hand one day and was like, God, I know you passing out oracle, oracle divineness right now. And I think I want some. No, he just gave it to me. He just gave it to me and was like, here, be the oracle. That's who you are. Soncerae the oracle. You know what I mean? Give relationship advice. Be a life coach. You are a leader. Here are some personality traits I need for you to have. There you go. I'm going to put you through all of these experiences. And once you go through all these experiences, you are going to be able to know how to tell somebody else not to go through those experiences. Come on, y'all. It's just different. I'm sorry. That's like getting financial advice from a broke person. Well, here's what I know. There are a lot of financially literate people who steal, who money launder, like Hush Puppy. Y'all know Hush Puppy, the Nigerian billionaire who just got caught recently because he was laundering money, because he was reaching out to like banks and all types of people saying, hey, give me money for this reason, that reason, this reason. Go onto his Instagram account. Go into Hush Puppy's Instagram account right now. You see pictures of him with Bentley's, cars, money, Fendi this, Louis Vuitton that, jewelry, Rolexes, all types of stuff, because he was a billionaire. And people would ask him, how did you make all of your billions? And he would never give anybody a legitimate answer. And then one day he said, I beg for a living. He was telling people, hey, give me X amount of dollars. Like, he went to a bank one time. It's a documentary on Netflix about this dude. He was going to a bank. He got this bank to give him like $4.1 million. Somehow he talked them into doing that shit using scams and laundering money. Come on now, just because. Listen, he was broke. He was piss poor morally. Yet he had all of this money stealing from people. He could give financial literacy advice to just any random person. Okay? I'm sure he knew about it, but he was stealing. So now he in fucking prison. All right? People would still listen to him now. How you think he made that amount of money? Come on, tricking people. I don't like the phrase pumping up. Me either. I hate the pumping up phrase, but it's a real thing. They try to apply that shit to single mothers, and I think a pumping up is a beta male phrase. And so I always know when I'm talking to a beta when they use that term. And so I use that term back to them to be relatable, but I do not like the term pumping up because I think it's so disrespectful, and I think that a lot of men do that. And they sell women dreams. Now, I don't think Derrick Jaxn sold this side chick a dream. I think he told her what was up. I think she just assumed by how he was treating her that she was going to be elevated to another level in his life. But I don't think he promised that to her. And I do feel like the way that he exited stage left out of her life so quickly and abruptly like that was the wrong way to handle her. But I don't think he sold her a dream at all. I don't think he sold her a dream at all. Right? She should have dated him first. He would have hit. Yeah, he would have hit. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has hit somebody else. Like, if it wasn't going to be her, it was going to be another chick. Because that's what he wanted to do with his time. The Derrick Jaxn has access to as many women as he wants. There's so many women out here that have no problem with kicking it with him. None whatsoever. They will do it just because he Derrick Jaxn. So if it wouldn't have been her, it would have been somebody else, because that's the stage in his life he was in. It doesn't mean that he's a bad person. Don't let one action a person did, or even if they did it multiple times, let me not say multiple times, because once you do it multiple times, it's kind of like a pattern, and then that just becomes your character. Okay. To me, I think Derrick Jaxn is a player, and he always going to be a player. And a lot of the reasons why a lot of women stay married to players is because they putting up with a lot of fuck shit. And I honestly feel like his wife ain't going to leave him. She love him. It's women out there that'll go through so much pain just to be with somebody they love. I personally don't think, and I said this to Mark last night, we were talking about why I never got married, why I've been so close to marry, and he always says to me he cannot understand why I'm not married already. A lot of men say to me, I cannot believe you're not married already. I don't get it. Like, you're this, you're that, you're such a beautiful woman, you are intelligent, you're funny, you're easy to talk to, all these good ass traits that a lot of women have. And it doesn't make any sense why Soncerae is single. I said, I don't know what's wrong with me, Mark. I said to Mark all the time, Mark, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I can only assume, right? But then, to me, the main reason why I'm not married, to me, this is my perspective. The reason why I'm not married is because I just can't put up with bullshit. Every time I've been about to walk down the aisle, the man that I have been engaged to, I've caught him with another woman. And that's what's broken us up. He could have said, I love you. He could have gave me money. I've gotten money, houses, cars, condos, purses, shoes, everything. Anything a woman could want. Diamonds. I've gotten all this shit from men. Letters, everything. But what I want from a man is love and respect. The two most valuable things. And I feel like if a man would risk losing me, that means he don't have the respect for me that I think he has. And I just feel like every single man I've ever gotten involved with, he never genuinely loved me, respected me the way I needed him to. It wasn't enough. I'm a gallon type of person. Some men can only give you the pint type of love. And to them, it could be all they got. Y'all heard TD Jake say this. He said it in a clip with Oprah. A lot of people are gallon people. You can give somebody else gallon love, and you're looking for gallon love, but you're looking for gallon love from a pint person. And pint people giving you everything they got. But you're like, what is this shit? So to me, I feel like I just been making poor choices in men. And if I gotta wait till my last day on this planet before I get married, just so I can finally say, oh, this is the guy that actually loves and respects me, I'll do that. You feel me? I'd rather be 70 and marry the right person than spend 70 years with the wrong person. You feel me? Say no to Derrick Jaxn. Let's start a movement. Shit, I don't care how many movements we start. Derrick Jaxn gonna be fuckable to a lot of women. They still gonna fuck with him. It's just like we keep trying to tell women to stop calling in the Kevin Samuels show getting relationship advice, and they still doing it. They still doing it. You just gonna have the bird brains out here. Kevin Samuels gives practical, logical advice. His channel is growing by the day despite bitter distractors who pray for and prey on his downfall. I wish this man the best. A lot of people think I have an issue with him because I make videos about him laughing at the shit that people say. And I have my personal perspective of this dude. My biggest thing with Kevin Samuels, I say this all the time, I'll say it again. My biggest thing with Kevin Samuels is I don't think he pushes the message enough that men have to hold the same standards to themselves that they hold women. So if they're looking for these grade A top choice women, they have to be grade A top choice themselves. And if they are high value men, great, they'll have a whole bunch of choices. But Kevin Samuels isn't a grade A top choice man at all. if we, measured him with the same standards as he measures other women, because he's talking about single mothers, women who are over 30. He's been married twice himself. He's like, what he likes to apply the double standard when it's convenient for him. Like, it's okay for him to have been married twice, and it's okay for him to be a baby daddy or whatever. And it's just not okay for women, though. Like, women are not going to be able to find the type of man that they want. Personally, I think if women doing what they supposed to do on the inside, if you are working out, eating right, you got your mental health and your spiritual health and emotional health on point, then you should be able to find a decent man that's suitable for you. And not all high value men are out here looking for a woman who's a size 5 and who's on a scale of 1 to 10 is a Rihanna. And you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, like little superficial shit that he be talking about all the time. Most men who are making 6 figures are nerdy, for one. Let's keep it a buck. Most men who are making 6 figures are nerds. All right. So most of the time, the nerdy men want women who are intellectual. They aren't thinking about women who are sexy. Yeah, women are sexy and they might be appealing and shit like that. But a smart man, a man who is financially literate and is a good man who is genuinely a high value man, he's nerdy. All right. But when we're talking about men who are financially literate, it doesn't mean that they have a good character. It doesn't mean that they're a good guy. They're just financially literate. So you do have men out there who are superficial and rich. But usually men who are superficial and rich, they got a little ignorance inside of them. So they might not always be rich. One thing I can tell you about being wealthy is that a lot of people don't stay wealthy. A lot of times it's up and down. A lot of times you have a shit ton of money and sometimes you don't. So when you're dealing with somebody who's financially literate, they usually plan for the future. Like, we have emergency funds, we have savings, we have CDs, we have stocks, we have all types of passive income. Those are the type of people that you can get with. And most of the time, those people aren't spending money on tons of shit. Most of us are business owners. Most of us, live below our means. You would never be able to tell that we're wealthy because we don't really act like it. We're not out here buying Louis Vuitton this, Louis Vuitton that. We might travel often because we have the money to do so. But even once you start traveling, after a while, you start finding cheap ways to travel. You know what I'm saying? So we get frugal with that shit too. So when you see people out here living a lap of luxury and shit, that's expensive. And most of the people that's out here doing that, they live in paycheck to paycheck. They just live in paycheck to paycheck in a millionaire type of way. They got just as much debt as they have money, and that's not wealthy to me. All right. That's not wealthy to the average person. Sportcasters have the broadcast skills and they have players in the booth too who speak from experience. The combo works best. And that's exactly, okay, pro woman Jay, that's exactly, you're right. Who else does that? You see YouTubers do that all the time. You see YouTubers collaborate with other people who are also inside of relationships, and they sit down and they have conversations about relationships all the time. You have relationship people who go out here and do like interviews with celebrities who are in marriages and shit like that, or in relationships. So it's the same thing. Like I said, sportcats, how could, I use sportcats, blah, 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 blah. Sorry. I use sportcasters as an example. It's the truth. We're still doing the same things. I mean, honestly, just looking into my chat, all y'all my co-hosts. That's all y'all are. I think y'all thinking something else. Y'all just co-host on Soncerae show. That's it. Just because you're not on here physically and speaking doesn't mean you aren't helping somebody. They reading what you're saying. They see you. So if we're in here and we're talking about relationships and I spit out something and we got a dialogue going back and forth and you say what you think, do you know a lot of the stuff that y'all say, people apply to their life too? Whoever's watching it. So just because you like, you may think that no one is paying attention to you, but trust me, people come into my live chats and they read the chat. Sometimes they mute my ass and read y'all. So remember that. Let's see. Women and men ask their friends for advice all of the time. Exactly. They never ask their friends for their qualifications. That's true. That's true. People go to their friends and be like, okay, listen. So such and such and such has happened. And some of their friends they shouldn't even be listening to. But they do it. And I'm pretty sure the average person's friend isn't a psychologist, isn't a counselor, hasn't done any type of sociology research or nothing, you know? Some people are not into prayer, so they don't have spiritual guidance. So why are you asking them for advice? When it's our job to do it, we are consistently learning all day, every day. All day, every day. And even when I'm not looking for information to send to y'all, the universe send it to me. It'll send me a tip. Let me tell you how this works. Let me tell you how this works. And y'all know I'm big on spirituality. I'm big on the universe. I'm big on metaphysics. I could be minding my business chilling. Okay? I could be just sitting, eating my peas, at a restaurant, minding my business. And it'll be a couple sitting next to me having a conversation about relationships. And I could just hear them, and there's no way I can avoid hearing this conversation. And it'll be something inside of their conversation that I can get on YouTube and talk about and apply it to the advice that I give because it worked for them. The people that was sitting next to me in the goddamn restaurant, and the universe is who sent it to me. So I don't have to sit here and do the research. It just comes to me. It always has. And usually that's how it happens when that's your talent, when it's your purpose to do something. And I've heard people say, oh, Soncerae gives bad advice. Oh, Soncerae gives bad advice. It's like, oh, so you expected me to give the cookie cut advice that everybody else gives. A lot of times people will say I give bad advice because of what happened to me and my son's father. What happened between me and my son's father has nothing to do with y'all. It had nothing to do with y'all. I knew damn well before I met my son's father that I shouldn't date separated men. What makes y'all think I ain't know that? What makes you think I didn't get this nigga hell the whole time we was in a relationship? Like, y'all signed the divorce papers yet? Y'all signed the divorce papers yet? Y'all signed the divorce papers. I was like a broken fucking record. Every chance I could. Y'all signed the divorce papers yet? Y'all said y'all was gonna sign the divorce papers. Did y'all sign the divorce papers yet? And then he was like, well, we gonna meet up such and such time. And then they met up, and he supposedly signed the divorce papers. And I'm like, did you sign the divorce papers yet? He's like, yeah, we signed it. I'm like, good. Okay, when y'all divorce gonna be finalized? Is your divorce finalized? When is gonna be finalized? That was me the entire relationship. I know I had to be getting on this nigga nerves. I know it was driving that nigga insane because I kept saying, so when y'all shit gonna be finalized? Is y'all shit over? Are you sure that it's over? Do you need more time to heal from your relationship? Because we can start right here. What do you need? Have y'all two talked about this? Are you sure that it's over? So that was me the entire time. So don't think for 2 minutes it was just like, oh, I'm just gonna sit up here and put up with the fact that he's separated. Nah, no. Not today. No, fuck no. I was not comfortable with it. You're speaking logically and practically. Thank you. I try to speak logically and practically without emotions. Angry Man said years ago, Derrick's knocking them down. Trust what Angry Man is saying. Trust Angry Man. I don't like Angry Man because of what he did. Angry Man, let me tell you something about Angry Man. Angry Man hurt my feelings. Angry Man Valdez hurt my feelings. And I think he knows this. But after he hurt me the way that he did, I refused to speak to him. I was doing an interview on Nicole Michelle channel, and he came on there, and I hung the phone up. I was like, I don't know who would bring Valdez on this shit while I'm on here. I don't know why Nicole would do this shit. I was like, done, not doing it. I'm fucking. But Angry Man, when I got pregnant with my son, right? I got pregnant with my son, and things was happening, and I didn't have any money, and I was struggling and living in the car with my son's father and living in hotels and shit. Everybody was making all of these videos about me, making fun of me and shit. And it was very hurtful to see people doing this, especially content creators that I had supported in the past. And Angry Man, Valdez was the only person that came into my chat and said to me, I'm not going to make a video about this. I'm not going to talk about this because this is a sensitive topic and I don't think this is something I should talk about. I had so much respect for him after he said that. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Now, I remember years before I had said something to him about his sons because I was saying, yo, you're supposed to be a father. You're supposed to be a better father. You're not supposed to be posting the type of stuff that you're posting on the internet. And it bothered him that I said it. And I said it on Twitter. And so I apologized to him for saying that. So when he returned that type of energy back to me and that type of kindness, I really appreciated that shit about him. I was just like, oh my God, thank you. Like, thank you. Because everybody else just feels like it's just okay to talk about me like I ain't shit. Like I'm not in one of the worst places in my life. So I really had respect for Valdez after he said that shit. And I held him to that. And a few weeks later, what'd he do? Make a video dragging me. He made a video with Jack dragging me and shit. And it just hurt my feelings, and I ain't talked to him ever since because we had a rapport before that. But I just feel like he chose to do something that wasn't genuinely in his heart simply because he was trying to appease to Minister Jap, and he knew that Minister Jap was like making so much content about me that was lies and negativity and spreading all these rumors and trying to break up my relationship with my son's father. And him and Jap were friends at that time. So Valdez kind of had like a neutral thing. Like he wasn't like centering himself in between what was happening with me and Jap. It was more of Soncerae's a content creator, Jap is a content creator, Jap's my homie. I'm doing content with him. I ain't necessarily beefing with Soncerae, but I'm not gonna be in the middle of that shit. That's kind of how Valdez was. But then when that nigga made that video about me with Jap and making fun of me, I didn't look at Valdez the same. I was hurt. Oftentimes, the man who won't cheat on women is the man the woman isn't interested in, unfortunately. Oh, no, I don't believe that to be true. I think men that don't cheat are kind of boring to women because usually men that don't cheat, you can kind of pick up on their behavior because they're predictable. And I think a lot of people get bored in situations like that because they're expecting some type of drama. They've been through so much trauma inside relationships anyway that when they do get in one that's healthy, it gets kind of boring. That's what I think. Take your time because a bad marriage will be the worst mistake you ever make. Exactly. I ain't trying to get married no time soon. Listen, I will wait. I'll wait. Kevin Samuels gave men the same practical, logical advice for men for 3 years. The videos are on YouTube. There's no excuse to say he has not addressed the men the same. No, he hasn't. He has not. Okay, let me explain something to you. If you're a man and you listening to this and you are a Kevin Samuels fan, all right, Kevin Samuels was giving men relationship advice before he gave women advice. I know this. I am aware of this. I've watched that content. Okay. I have to do research in order for me to be able to make sound judgment about a person. When I first made my first observation about Kevin Samuels and my first video a response about Kevin Samuels, it was based off of one video I saw, which was him disrespecting a female. From then on, I had an issue with dude disrespecting her because he did not have to say what he said to her and then hang up in her face. It was very rude. It was very just off-putting. I didn't like him after that. I also did not like the fact that he was telling a woman who made six figures herself that she wouldn't even be able to date another man who made six figures. That was bullshit to me. Okay. So I knew without me having to watch anything else that those two things was going to bother me because it was serious. So then with time, right? Maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started watching other clips of his because there is a TikTok page created. It is just Kevin Samuels clips. So they come into my feed. They come into my For You page. And so I'm checking these clips out and I'm seeing Kevin Samuels is also just as rough on men as he is on women. But the problem is the Dusties aren't getting it. They aren't picking up on it. What's happening is these men who still aren't improving themselves, these men who still have no education, no money, no nothing, are out here judging single mothers, women who wear weave, women who wear makeup, women who are overweight, women who are broke, like they themselves don't have these same type of issues. He needs to, this is his weakness, is what I'm telling you. His weakness is his inability to get the dusties that's following him to understand that they are not high value men yet. And some of them may not ever be. So they need to date what they can reach. Because a lot of them are still trying to reach to the top of the tree and they ain't got no legs to stand on. They ain't got no ladder. They ain't got nothing to date to get the women at the top of the tree. They just aiming for shit that they can't reach. That's my biggest thing. And the reason why I know this is still an issue with the Dusties, because of how the Dusties come into my comment section talking to me. They come in my comment section, they come into my chats, the way that they're even acting, how they're disrespectful towards me. When all I speak about, I speak from a logical perspective. I try not to be disrespectful to men. Often, and I'm a lot better than I was before, because I used to be like, fuck you, bitch, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, sir, sir, I need you to understand such and such, and I try to be a little bit kinder. But these men come into my comments and my chats, guns fucking blazing, just mad for nothing, and just start disrespecting me, calling me out my name, talking about my hair, just talking about my weight, talking about my, lifestyle, talking about shit they don't even know, doing beta male shit in my comment section. And they be Kevin Samuels groupies. And they think I'm attacking Kevin Samuels. I'm like, it's not him. I don't have a personal vendetta against this dude. I just don't like how he disrespects women. You cannot speak to women the same way that you speak to men. If you're going around calling men fat fucks, you cannot speak to women in that way. Men, when you're talking to each other, y'all have a different type of language y'all speak when y'all talking to each other. Just like women, we have a different language when we're talking to each other. We're like, girl, sis, all that shit. We don't do that when we talking to y'all. We can't call y'all that stuff. That's for us. So I just feel like he's failed. He's failed at getting men, the dusties, to act right. I'm at the conclusion we women love abuse. I know, right? When they keep calling damn Kevin Samuels, they love the way that he be talking to them. Even after the girl with the teddy bear woman, exactly, the woman with the teddy bear ended up in a mental health institution, right? Because what he doesn't do is respect womanhood. If you're going to be giving relationship advice to women, you have to respect womanhood. You have to respect a woman's emotions and her feelings and her security. Like, just when I'm talking to men, I try not to tarnish their ego. I realize that a lot of men have a fragile ego. So when I'm speaking to them, I try not to be like cold and cruel and shit. I try to be a little bit softer and use my femininity in order to pull them in so they can feel comfortable with listening to me. As a man, Kevin Samuels needs to do that with females. He needs to learn how to speak with females a little bit more pleasant. You can be honest and keep it real without being disrespectful. It's okay to speak honestly, calmly, rationally. You can even tell a joke. But in order for you to make a woman feel comfortable, there are so many things you can do as a man other than what Kevin Samuels is doing. I don't think you're listening in good faith and actively to Kevin's shows. Well, listen, I'm not going to sit here and argue back and forth with you about it. I keep trying to explain to you what the issue is with this dude. If you don't want to hear it, don't ask me nothing about Kevin Samuels. One thing I need for you to discontinue doing while you inside of my chat is ignoring what I'm trying to tell you. Because I'm telling you what my issue with him is. It isn't really him. It's he has to find a better way to get to these betas, get to these fucking dusties, because these dusties are misunderstanding his message. They aren't picking up on it how they should. Okay? This is not about whether I've watched all of his content or whether no, it's about the men inside of his audience. They're not high value men. Most of them are not high value men yet, but they think that they are. So he has to promote more of a message that gets to these beta males and these dusties so they can understand that they need more work before they can actually be alpha. And they have to stop disrespecting women and promoting toxic masculinity, thinking that sexism and misogyny is what makes them alpha or of high value. In order for you to be a high value man, you have to have comfortability with women. You can't be comparing yourself to women, disrespecting women, abusing women, lying to women, anything like that. And majority of them are still participating in that destructive ass behavior that's putting a wedge between them and women. That's my thing with Kevin. Everything else he's talking about don't even matter. That's men talk. My biggest concern is when these men start coming in my comment section with shit, or when these men are starting to deal with other women and they're still disrespecting women. The teddy bear incident was funny. She was so weak and desperate. I mean, Jeanette, it was funny at the time to people. I couldn't believe she was up there with a teddy bear. But the problem was what happened to her after that. She was already weak. He knew she was already weak and desperate. So why would he throw it on thicker to break her like that? Nah, when you're dealing with somebody who's weak and desperate, you got to lay off of the harshness. You can't do that because they're already in a depressed state. Anyone who's a counselor knows this. When you meet somebody who can't handle some shit in a specific way, you feeding it to them, you have to find another way to feed it to them. Not don't feed them at all, but just find another way to give them what they need. It's not hard. If you've been dealing with a lot of people, you realize that not all everybody is the same anyway. Some people need a message sung to them. Some people need the shit written down. Everybody got a different love language. Like some people love books. Some people love audio. Some people love videos. You know? Like I feel like I get my point across much faster in a 1 minute clip on TikTok than I do doing a 2 hour live stream. I feel like people actually hear what the fuck I'm saying in that 1 minute than they do when I do 2 hour live streams. Seriously, because I mean, the kind of conversations that people have with me on TikTok, oh my God. I mean, we have some serious dialogue. I'm telling you, I'm talking to, on TikTok, I'll be talking to 5,000 to 10,000 people at one time because everybody's posting on a number of videos. So I'm having multiple conversations at one time on TikTok. I'll be begging Mark, I'll be like, Mark, please go into my YouTube comments and answer my YouTube comments because I'm on TikTok answering those people. This goes back to what I said about us having hundreds of thousands of people. When we're talking to hundreds of thousands of people, we realize that everybody has a different way that they digest stuff. You can't just go around trying to force feed some people some shit. Some people gonna regurgitate it if you're not careful. Some people can't eat it the way, like you got steak, you got well done steak, medium rare. Some people like they steak bleeding still. Okay. So when I'm talking about Kevin Samuels and what he's feeding people, he has, one of his weaknesses is he doesn't know how to respect femininity and womanhood. So he shouldn't be giving relationship advice to women. Doesn't mean he can't change that or improve, just means he shouldn't be doing that shit now. And another one of his weaknesses is that when he's giving relationship advice to men, he's failing at getting these betas to cling onto his message enough for them to stop doing beta shit when it comes to women. All right? Catherine Marie, I don't understand why women keep calling his show. I don't know. He mostly takes calls with the intention to argue or discredit. I agree. Argue and discredit. Put somebody down, find out what's wrong with them, make them feel bad about themselves. What's your dress size? Or the scale of 1 to 10, what do you classify yourself as? These things right here are methods and tools that he uses to probe women to see how insecure they actually are. And if a woman, he comes into his show and he says, on a scale of 1 to 10, who you are, she says 10, he'd be like, bullshit, you're not a supermodel. He told one bitch, you are not a supermodel. You're not a 10. She was like, excuse me? He was like, you're not a 10. Just because he sees her as not a 10 doesn't mean she not one in the eyes of another dude. You see what I'm saying? uh, Kevin Samuels didn't even do that to Tommy. Yeah, he didn't. When he was talking to Tommy from Love and Hip Hop, he wasn't as harsh. I could tell. He wasn't as harsh. Um, The high value men don't care either. They feel like I have money, so I don't have to work with you. They're just like, I'll find another woman. They're not necessarily high value men. They're just men with financial literacy and more options to women who care about how much money they make. See, just because they're high value men and they have money and they have more options than women, don't mean they have high value women. Most high value women generate their own income, have their own money, so they're not really stunting off for a dude's money. Yeah, they want their wealth to multiply, and yeah, they want a man to be able to carry his own and be able to, take her out and do, the basic things. But for the most part, women who have their shit together, we are not looking for men to bring money to the table because we have our own money. Usually, when a woman is begging for a man to be a provider, she doesn't feel like she can stand on her own to herself. She doesn't want to go out there and do the footwork that is required in order to build wealth. You have to understand, high value women are business owners, entrepreneurs, executives at companies. Most of us are wealthy. And it take a lot to be here. Think about this. I was fucking broke like 3 or 4 years ago. Think about this. So it take a lot of work. It took a lot of work for me to go from being broke, living in a damn back of a truck parked in a Walmart, to living in Northern California. I was in Atlanta, the cheapest place to live in the South, basically. That's a major city, the cheapest major city to live. I was living there, to moving to the most expensive place to live in the United States. You know how hard I got to work to live here? Jesus Christ. My fucking God. Do you know how much work that is? A lot of women don't want to do that work. And a lot of women feel like the only way that a man shows he loves a woman is by giving her money. A lot of women feel like that. And I keep trying to explain to women, just because a man marries you doesn't mean he has love and respect for you. We just proved that with Derrick Jaxn. Okay? Because he just disrespected the absolute fuck out of his wife, bringing his side chick in. Okay, so he don't love and respect her the way that he should. All right. Now, just because he's signing over half of what he owns to you or half of what he worked on, shit, if he's a multimillionaire, he knows how to replace that half of yours all day long. But honestly, I just feel like most men, man, most men who are financially stable and uh, have these wives that are only with them because they are providers, man, these women are putting up with a lot of shit. They just don't say that. They want to break fly. They want to act like everything 100%. Nah, yeah, you got his money, but trust me, he probably out here fucking other women. You get you usually attract what you are. So if you come into a man expecting him to be a provider, manipulating him for his money, don't be surprised when you get him and y'all get married and he out here fucking other women, because his character is just as shitty as yours. When you come into a situation manipulating a man for money, you got a shitty character. And a lot of women don't even think of it that way. It's like, yeah, bitch, if you're not comfortable with going out there working on your own, getting your own money, getting something for yourself, and being able to bring something valuable to the table in your relationship or marriage, there's something toxic about you. Because every woman should want to bring something valuable to their relationship. You guys don't understand how much pressure is put on a man to be able to take care of everything financially. Yeah, some men might take pride in that, but sometimes they feel like their knees gonna buckle. Don't get it twisted. They might not say nothing to you, but men who are carrying all of the weight, sometimes their knees be buckle. You need to be trying to figure out how to multiply this man's money instead of draining his bank account. Catherine Marie, I'm from San Francisco and I was just about to move back in Bay Bay. Listen, let me tell you something about the Bay. It's expensive as this is the most expensive shit I've ever seen. I went to get my I went to get my nails done. And I got my nails done in Oakland. That shit was $175 to get my feet and nails done. $175. If I would have got my feet and nails done in Atlanta, that should have been like $75, $80. Not here. Everything is doubled. Some places tripled. I'd be like, oh my God, this place is a trip. One of my friends was telling me that his wife's disability check was $1,600 a month. I was like, shit, if she was making $1,600 a month living in California, she'd be living under a goddamn tent. That is not going to work out here. He's like, where we live, she can live by herself with $1,600 a month. I was like, how much is rent in that place? How much is it to rent in a place where 1,600? Where could you live in the United States where 1,600 a month can have you living well? Kansas City, I think, is like that. I think Kansas City might be like that. Men usually have more money, but women usually more stable. Women will make a home for guys, are not as responsible with their finances. Sometimes you get the wrong woman and she spend all your money or kill you and bury your body. You know what I mean? Quavo and Sweetie. We can talk about Quavo and Sweetie before I go. Quavo and Sweetie. The first time I heard Quavo and Sweetie were broken up, they were saying that Sweetie was saying that he hadn't done enough for her. And he has spent, through their entire relationship, he has spent approximately $2 million on this chick. So on Media Takeout, they were saying the reason why the two of them broke up was because he wasn't giving enough gifts, money, romance, and spending quality time, right? That's what they were saying on Media Takeout. And so then I seen Sweetie's tweet, and she was saying basically he cheated. That's the reason why I'm not with him. And then he had a series of tweets that said, hey, listen, you're not the woman that I thought you were. Now, this disappoints me because I wish they would have handled this privately. All right, because they probably could have fixed this. It's the same thing with Cardi B and goddamn Offset. Every time he cheat on her, every time something go wrong, I wish they would have just kept it to their damn self and just fixed it. Because Cardi B wasn't going no goddamn where anyway. You know what I mean? Like they didn't even need social media to chime in because Cardi B wasn't gonna leave his ass no way. So with Quavo and Sweetie, they still young. You know what I mean? They still young, and I just feel like when you dealing with a man like Quavo and he has all of this money and has access to all of these women, it's easy for them to cheat. When you're choosing a man, don't choose a man that can buy you a Birkin bag. Choose a man who has a good character. That way he will love and respect you through and through. And if he happens to disrespect you by cheating on you or sleeping with some woman in your bed and all of this stuff, you have to decide whether cheating is your deal breaker. All right. And if it isn't, renegotiate. Because that's what I think what Derrick Jaxn and his wife did. Renegotiate the terms of the relationship. Is there something inside of this relationship that you're not getting? After you get over the damn shock of yourself being cheated on by somebody you love, ask them, is there something that you're not getting inside of this relationship or this marriage? Or do you think that I'm just not the one that you should be with? And see what type of answer they give you. See what type of answer they give you. Okay? Because you can sometimes you can just renegotiate and give something different inside of the relationship, and you find out that the person that you with never cheat again. Or this person don't want to be with you, or they just know. Like sometimes men just know, I like her, but this not it. You know, and then some men, it'd be too late. They meet a good woman, and then years later, they'd be like, oh shit, I should have done this last woman right. You know, shit like that. Alabama, right. Montgomery, Alabama is one of those places where it's cheap. Alabama in general. Anywhere where it's a whole bunch of flies and heat and motherfucking dust is cheap. In a small town in the deep south, Albany, Georgia. That's right. I don't think she played Quavo for money. Well, I kind of do, because she was all like, he need to be able to buy you a Birkin bag. No, bitch, you need to be able to buy your own goddamn Birkin bag. And if he can buy you 3 more, that's even better. It's even better. Cardi is basically paying Offset. Now, I think Offset got his own money. So, you know what? I remember that time that Cardi B had him open the refrigerator and he had money in the fridge. I honestly feel like Offset and Cardi B are really good friends. And I think that Cardi B is actually a great wife. You know, she work hard and shit. I think she would be a great wife, great mother, great friend. She funny, you know. She grew up with both of her parents and shit. So I'm pretty sure she knows the healthy parts about being in a relationship or marriage. I don't know how Cardi B ended up becoming a stripper with her having both of her parents. I don't even know how she ended up in the streets, being a blood, growing up in a two-parent home. I don't know how that stuff. Like, Cardi B is an anomaly to me. Because, usually some people, most people who grow up with both of their parents, they don't usually end up becoming what Cardi B has become. So either both of her parents was about them streets and about that life, and she just learned that. I don't know. It's just interesting to me. You attract what you are. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. You attract what you are. So if you come into a situation where you are manipulating a man for money, or you're looking for a provider and not a partner, don't be surprised if you have all this money and you are able to buy what you want, but you don't have your husband's love and respect. Quavo spent because he was cheated. He got up with hookers at Bow Wow party, but he broke up with her because she flirted with her ex, Justin Combs. She broke up with him, from what I understand. I don't know if he hooked up with some hookers at Bow Wow party. I don't even know what possessed him to do that when he has somebody as beautiful as Sweetie. Honestly, seeing Derrick Jaxn, after seeing Derrick Jackson's wife, I thought he could do better. That's the first thing I said. I said she probably a nice woman. She probably, good to him. But if I'm looking at Derrick Jaxn, I would have thought he had a better looking wife. The side chick looked better than his wife. Honestly, she was like super bad. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean she's a better woman. She just looked physically more attractive. So I think for me, there is something about this wife of his that she's giving to him that no other woman is giving him. She's pretty, but she's like, no. I noticed usually men who are like super fine, their wife is not as like their wife be nah. And I feel like, why don't you just date the type of person you want to be with instead of dating a person that you think is safe? Sometimes men marry the person that they think is safe because they don't think she's going to go out there and do the same shit he would. A lot of men get intimidated by a woman's beauty or by a woman's sexuality. If he feels like she's extremely sexual, he's not going to try to wife her because he's afraid that she might do things with other women. Men don't want to be embarrassed in front of other men, but they don't mind embarrassing their woman by cheating on her. It's so weird. Like, man, when we were talking about polyamory today on TikTok, somebody came in the comment section and they said the reason why a lot of people don't want to choose polyamory is because they want to be the ones that cheat inside of the monogamous relationship. They just don't want their partner to be the one that cheat. Some people can't handle that. I was like, wow. Yeah, Texas. I heard about Texas. Austin, Texas. Cardi B and Offset is the Whitney and Bobby. That is so funny. Cardi B and Offset are the Whitney and Bobby of hip hop. I don't know. I mean, if they start doing like drugs, because they do drink a lot of shit. So maybe if they start doing more drugs, we'll see. I gotta go, y'all. But that's interesting. Cardi B and Offset, the Whitney and Bobby. I gotta go, y'all. An old woman told me you should marry the man that loves you more than you love him. I hear women say that all the time. I hear older women say that. I don't know. I honestly, like I told Mark this the other day when I was talking to him. I said, I don't ever remember a man ever loving me, like, genuinely. I've heard men say I love you to me all of the time, but I've never seen a man like genuinely love me through it all, through everything. I've never had that. Never. Like, I don't know, not even a little bit. Nope. Never, not once. So I wouldn't even know what that feels like. And a lot of people will live this life and never know what that feels like. I gotta go. Bye, y'all.